Hi, Intro to Programming Concepts students. Dennis here. I was looking at assignment two. Assignment two, which is 70 points in this part, you'll solve a problem described in English. You're going to write a 1C program that asks the user how to input two numbers, and then the program should output the difference, the two numbers as a product, and then square the first, square the second, and show the result. Here's an example of the output. Enter a number, this is any number, echo it out, enter a number, any number, echo it out, the difference, and so on. If you look at the assignment, this is your grading rubric, and here I am getting ready to actually write this code. So with this code or any code, you start with called preprocessor directives, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. The first one is kind of for Microsoft, this line right here, as my very first statement. Turns off those safe commands, so when I use scanf and so on, I do not have to use _s. So my two standard libraries, and here I just created an alias for system, left paren, double quote, lowercase pause, double quote, right paren. This alias is the same thing as this. Just because I'm lazy, I don't want to type all of this out every time. This is much easier, so I can use capital pause. All I did was went into main, and I set up my main, begins here, ends here, and I just wrote 4 comments. Declare my variables first, get my input from the user second, do some kind of process or math, and then display the output. So that's what I'm going to do with this assignment. After you set up your program, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to need to determine which variables you may need to make this program work. So I'm getting an integer from the user and another integer. I named it num1, num2. These are what you want to name them. I need to calculate the difference to product, and I need to take num1, square it, num2. So these are my variable locations. And notice I assigned each of these locations a 0. So this is called assigning a default value. In most numeric fields, you would like to assign a default value of up in the assignment. Even though it's not shown in the output, it does say calculate the sum. So I guess I'll add that too. So here I am. My first statement is going to be nothing more than a printf, and I'm going to ask the user to enter a number. Maybe something like, please enter an integer value. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan that in as an integer. So this is a placeholder for an integer, comma, into the address of, that is shift 7, the address of num1. So that's my first value. And because I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy this, come down below, paste it in, and it's now please enter another integer value. So my second prompt is going to be enter another integer value, and I'm going to store that result in num2. So I have the first and the second, and now I'm going to come in here and start doing the math. So the first thing I'll do is the difference. So the difference equals number 1 minus num2. Then I'm going to do the sum equals num1 plus num2. And then I'm going to do the product equals num1 times num2. And then I'm going to do the two squares. So num1 squared equals num1 times num1. And there's lots of ways to calculate these formulas. This is maybe just the quickest and easiest to demonstrate. So num2 squared is num2 times num2. So if I come back up and I say, what do I have to do? I have to do the sum, the product, and then do the two squares. So here I'm going to add the sum, but I'm going to start my output now. So over here, I'm done with my process, done with my input. So now I'm going to display the output. So the first thing I might wish to do is just move things down on the page a little bit. Don't have to, but I decided to, and now I'm going to say printf. I'm going to do a tab. You entered a %i and %i period / new. So this is going to say you entered a 7 and an 8. So num1 comma num2. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to say printf the difference is, and then I'm going to do a printf the sum is, I'm just going to line everything up. So there's my difference, there's my sum. And this one's going to say the product is. There's going to be my product. And then finally, two more statements. Something like the cube of the first value is, and then later I would have the cube of the second value is. Something like this. The cube of the second value is. All right. So across the board, I'm going to tab these. And I should have done that before I copied it down, but that's okay. I tab each one. Now, the difference is %i/n, and that's going to be difference. And then the %i/n, this is going to be the sum. And then the product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T, the product, pardon me, the typo, that's going to be %i/n, comma, product. And then the cube of the first is %i/n, comma, it's not cube, it's square. That's square, S-Q-U-A-R-E. I could do cube, no big deal, S-Q-U-A-R-E. The first is num1 squared. And then the second one is the square of the second is some integer /n, comma, num2 squared. I think I'm pretty much done. The only other thing I might want to do is separate this from where I'm going to do my pause. So there's just some lines of separation, and here's my pause. All right, so before I run and test this, which I probably should have done a long time ago, I'm just going to line my colons up just because that's something that I strangely like to do. And I'm going to separate those two lines. And I'm going to let this run, see what happens. And I get an error, so that error is right here where I put the /t. I forgot to put it inside the double quotes, so let's see if that helps. And we'll try to run it again. Enter the first number, 5. Enter the second number, 4. You entered a 5 and a 4. The difference is 1. Sum is 9. The product is and the square of 5 is 25. The square of 4 is 16. So this is good. As we run it, we see we have an issue with the product. Let's go take a look at what's going on there. So the product is, and we notice I put a dollar sign instead of a %. Hopefully you've been screaming. So that's good. Let's test it one last time. Enter a integer, 7. Enter a second integer, 2. So you entered a 7 and a 2. The difference of 7 and 2 is 5. The sum of 7 and 2 is 9. The product of 7 times 2 is 14. The square of 7 is 49. The square of 2 is 4. Hey, that looks pretty good. The only other thing I might want to do is clean it up a little bit. Maybe since I have this tabbed over, I might want to tab that over. So let's just do that and see how that looks. /t. Run it one more time. Have that over. And you know what? I want to move it down too, just because, since I'm making some changes. So all I have to do is come in here and say maybe n/n/n. Let's run this, and this should be the end. Oh no, I forgot to do that T after the end. So let's put /t over here. And let's run it, hopefully, as I said for the last time. So enter a number, 55, enter another 4. The difference is 1. The sum is 59. The product this time this is that. If you take 55 squared, you get this. And if you take 4 squared, you get this. Here's my press any key to continue. And I want to keep this video as short as possible. So I am done. Go through the program one last time. Here's my specs, preprocessor directives. Here's all the variables I need. Notice I added some. Here's my input, statement, scan. Here's my math, product, difference, sum, product, number 1 squared, number 2, bunch of output statements, video's over. Hope you have a good day. I forgot to show you my pseudocode for this, so all I did, and I happen to be here in Excel, you can do this in any product, is I wrote my pseudocode, and I actually did do this first. My pseudocode said step 1, ask for number, step 2, get it and store it, step 3, ask for number, get it and store it, echo the numbers back out, calculate the difference, the product, the square, and if you remember, the sum. So might as well add that in here real quick. The sum, and then the square of each number, and then display the results. So there's real simple little pseudocode, and now I'm done.